All right, St. Louis. Now everybody knows the St. Louis Blues, written by W.C. Handy. What you may not realize is St. Louis sits right on the Mississippi. So these musicians, as they're traveling up and down, eventually headed to Chicago, King Arvin, all those guys, they had to go right through it. And so the jazz had to go right through it too. And of course it had to bear a little fruit. In the very early experience, there was a guy named Charlie Creath, cornet player. And he pretty much codified the St. Louis jazz sound, particularly for the cornet. Very bright, brilliant sound, really clear, and bent notes. Now he come up, like a lot of kids came up in this time, being taught in these little benevolent organizations, the Knights of Pythias and the Oddfellows bands. And as he developed, he even got a chance to play in the Ringling Brothers band for a while. Later on, he graduated to playing in riverboats, and so he had to play a little bit of everything on those riverboats. A little bit of blues maybe, but mostly popular songs and that kind of thing. Soon after that, he got to play in the Jazzland Club right there in St. Louis. And he pretty much hung around St. Louis and nurtured the next crop and the next crop and the next crop of great jazz musicians, especially trumpet players and cornet players. The great Bix Beiderbecke would have come through St. Louis somewhere around 1926 for an extended gig, and it is said that his cornet sound was molded in St. Louis, which is why he sounded so much like the St. Louis school of cornet playing. Charlie Creath most certainly would have been heard by him and affected him for his entire life. Later, there were people like, say, the great Clark Terry, who played with Duke Ellington and Count Basie. Oh yeah. Who made over 900 recordings during his lifetime. Oh yeah. Just as Brother Creath was not only a great cornet player, but he also could sing. It is said that OK Records recorded him immediately after they recorded Bessie Smith, and he was the first to record blues as a black male artist for OK Records, as a singer. This guy was multi-talented. Similarly, Mr. Clark Terry developed his own style of scat singing, similar to Louis Armstrong, but more of a moon kind of sound, and they called his method of scat singing mumbles. Yeah. Now Clark played in the NBC Orchestra, the first black musician ever to have that honor. In this night show band, you name it, he was there. And as I said earlier, 900 recordings. 2010, he received a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award at the age of 89. And that's not all. Oh yeah, there's a long lineage. You see, the Dark Prince of Jazz himself, Mr. Miles Dewey Davis, although he was born in Alton, Illinois, is just across the river from East St. Louis, where all of this was happening. You see, East St. Louis was the black side of St. Louis. Oh yeah, and that is where it was all happening. Miles was Bebop Miles when he showed up with Charlie Parker at 17 and 46. Later he became Cool Miles as he established the whole cool jazz thing. Then he became the hard bop Miles with, and he became the modal Miles, and he became the electric Miles, and any major innovation in jazz from 1946 until he died over 40 years later, Miles Davis was the spearhead for it all. And some of our most illustrious musicians, from Chick Corea to Herbie Hancock to Ron Carter to Tony Williams to, oh man, Wayne Shorter. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. Miles touched them all. Cannonball, John Coltrane, we can just go on and on. So St. Louis is a very, very important mecca for jazz. As a matter of fact, my good friend Butch Thomas is also from St. Louis. So let's hear from St. Louis, baby. There was a whole lot more than blues going on in St. Louis. St. Louis, Missouri. Or as they say, St. Louis, baby. Thank you now.